Buying a flat is usually a technically more complicated process than buying a house, and that's because whereas houses are freehold, flats are leasehold, meaning that you don't actually own the land on which the property itself sits. The fact that the flat is leasehold throws up a number of issues that you don't have to consider if you're buying a freehold property. First of all, the solicitor that you're using to carry out the conveyancing is generally going to be more expensive than if you're buying a freehold property. And that's because if you've ever seen the size of a lease, they can be very thick. There's no sort of standard lease. Every single property will have different terms and conditions in it, and different rules governing what you can and can't do with and in the property. Now, I've got an apartment myself, which is leasehold, and for example, in my lease, it tells me two quite restrictive things. First of all, that you can't have any pets. So you may not have a pet now, but if you're considering getting one in the future, that may be something that you'll really need to check out. And secondly, I can't let a room in my flat under the terms of my lease. I could let the entire flat, but I can't let a room while I'm living there. Every single lease, as I say, will have different terms and conditions. You shouldn't have to worry about that, because what you should do is make sure that you've employed the right solicitor. That solicitor should be a member of the ALEP. And if you look in the accompanying article that goes alongside this video, you'll see the web address for them. So you can have a look and see for yourself what all that means. Your solicitor will go through that whole lease, and then what they should do is give you a summary highlighting any of the main points that they feel you should particularly be aware of. Another thing you need to check with a leasehold property are the management fees. Generally speaking, how it works with a leasehold flat is that you pay an amount of money into a management fund, and that management fund then pays for things like the maintenance of the exterior of the building, the grounds. It sometimes includes things like window cleaning, and sometimes your water rates as well. So you need to check, first of all, how much that is, and be prepared, because it could be anything from around £1,000 a year up to £3,000 plus. So make sure that you've budgeted for that and that you're happy with that payment. The other thing that your solicitor will need to check is that the person you're buying the flat from has paid their fees up to date. If they're in default, it may then, once you've taken over ownership of the property, fall on you to top up that amount. You should also check whether there is a sinking fund and how much money is in it. Now, a sinking fund is an amount of money put aside each year by the management company to take account for any major works that might need to be done to the property in the future. Because the last thing you want to do is move in and then 6 months later be told that it needs a new roof and you need to contribute £20,000. All this might sound very complicated, but don't worry. Provided you've got a good solicitor who is a member of the ALEP, they should take care of this all for you.